Good morning, Deacon. The weather for Tuesday, March 5th. It's going to be rain. High 50 degrees. Have an awesome day. Okay.
These students have a birthday today. Happy birthday!
Good morning, boys and girls. Today I'm reading The Smart Cookie by Jory John and P. Oswald. The Smart Cookie. Greetings, I'm a cookie. I live in a bakery on a street corner near a river. Come on in. Welcome to our little community. It's a warm and supportive place to spend some time. Pretty fantastic, eh? These days, life is sweet, but my journey wasn't always a cakewalk. When I was younger, I couldn't have imagined fitting in here. For a long time, I didn't feel comfortable speaking up or sharing my ideas. I didn't feel like a smart cookie. I wanted to be a cookie who knew all the answers, a cookie who felt confident in a group, a cookie who said, "Aha," when solving a puzzle, like this, "Aha." Looking back, I had some trouble in my early days. I went to school in a gingerbread house. Our teacher, Miss Biscotti, was kind and patient. When I arrived each morning, she'd wave at me and smile. But I didn't get the best grades, and I never raised my hand because I couldn't think of the answers as fast as the others. And I was the last to finish most tests. It wasn't because I didn't care, and it wasn't because I didn't try. Sometimes I'd get distracted and mess up. Even though I knew the material, those were the most frustrating moments of all. Once I misspelled the word dough. That was rough. Another time I added when I meant to subtract. 2 minus 2 equals 4. Occasionally, we'd have a lesson where I had absolutely no idea what was happening. I just couldn't keep up. I imagined that my desk was a raft and that I was completely lost at sea because that's what it felt like. At night, I slept in a cookie jar. I had about 6 dozen roommates. Move! You move! No, you move! No, you move! No, you move! I'd stay awake and stare out the window and worry. And it went this way day after day after day. But then something happened that changed everything. It all started with a homework assignment. Miss Biscotti requested our attention one afternoon. "Tonight, I would like you to create something completely original," she announced. "It can be anything you want. Please bring it to class tomorrow." That was it. There was no further instructions. Miss Biscotti winked at me as I gathered my belongings. I felt like I had a million butterflies in my stomach. Create anything? Something original? Due tomorrow? Gulp. When I got home, I immediately went to work. At first, I tried a cooking project. The results were half-baked. Next, I tried to hammer and nail something. It splintered immediately. Then I tried making a sculpture. It was a complete bust. I wondered if I was about to fail yet another assignment. I was stuck. I stared out the window and watched the rain hit the river. There was something mesmerizing about the water, how it moved in such a chaotic way, swirling around and around, yet ultimately figuring out exactly where it needed to go. Aha! Suddenly, I had an idea. I decided to write something original. A poem! I came up with a title based on how I'd been feeling, my crummy days. After that, the rest of it seemed to fall into place. I wrote and I wrote. I lost track of time, and an hour went by in a flash. "Aha!" I said when I was finished. I couldn't sleep that night, but it wasn't because I was worried. It was because I was excited. I felt like I had really accomplished something. I felt smart. The following day, Miss Biscotti asked for volunteers to share what we'd created. One kid showed off his original frosting art. Another kid revealed her sprinkle distribution machine. It was neat seeing how everyone was good at such different things. Finally, Miss Biscotti turned to me. Would you like to share anything? She asked. Gulp. I gulped. I thought I'd probably crumble under pressure. But I made my way to the front of the classroom. I noticed my hands were shaking. My mouth went dry. This poem is called My Crummy Days, I said, my voice cracking, and then I read it out loud. As I spoke, I noticed some kids nodding at certain lines. Other kids laughed at parts that were supposed to be funny. As I built toward the finale, I felt myself becoming more confident and animated. And in the end, everyone clapped and cheered. I promise you this, I'll never ever forget it. Miss Biscotti was beaming. No one but you could have written that poem, she said. It was completely original. Aha! I had done it. I'd created something and shared it with the world. Well, my world at least. The rest of the day was a blur. By recess, I was already planning my next poem. I would call it My Sweet Morning. Aha! I thought when I came up with the title. Later that afternoon, Miss Biscotti handed me a note. It said that I should keep on writing no matter what. That meant so much to me. School was a bit different after that. I wasn't so scared to raise my hand or ask a question, or share my work. Sure, some things still don't come as easily for me as they do for others, but now I know that you could be smart in many different ways. You don't have to have the answers to every question or suddenly be great at everything, all at once. You just need a chance to try all kinds of things, to find out who you are and what you like to do. As for me, I learned that I can write and I can think up great ideas, and I've found plenty of other things I'm good at too. I no longer feel lost at sea. It's more like floating down a river, and the best part is, there's always more to learn, because we are all smart cookies. The end. 3 facts about me are I have 3 kids, an 8-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 4-year-old. I love the color orange, and my family and I are huge 49ers fans.
Hi, today I am going to be reading Grumpy Monkey by Suzanne Lang. Grumpy Monkey by Suzanne Lang. One wonderful day, Chimpanzee woke to discover that nothing was right. The sun was too bright, the sky was too blue, and the bananas were too sweet. Jim was confused. What's going on? Maybe you're grumpy, suggested Norman from next door. I'm not grumpy, Jim insisted. On his walk, he met Marabou. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Marabou. Why you grumpy, Jim? Asked Marabou. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. But look at how you're standing, Marabou said. It's true, said Norman. You're all hunched. So Jim loosened up. Then he ran into Lemur. Jim's grumpy, Norman told Lemur. Why you grumpy, Jim? Asked Lemur. It's such a wonderful day. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Your eyebrows look grumpy, said Lemur. It's true, said Norman. They're all bunched up. So Jim raised his brow. Then he tripped over Snake. Oh no, said Norman. That's the last thing you need when you're feeling so grumpy. Grumpy? Me? I'm not grumpy, said Jim. Then why that frown, said Snake. I think it's because he tripped over you, Norman whispered to Snake. So Jim put on a smile. Finally, Jim looked happy. But he didn't feel happy inside. Everyone wanted Jim to enjoy this wonderful day. You should sing with us, said the birds. Jim didn't feel like singing. You should swing with us, said the monkeys. Jim didn't feel like swinging. You should roll with us, said the zebras. Jim didn't feel like rolling. You should stroll with us, said the peacocks. Jim didn't feel like strolling. You should lie in the grass. You should stomp your feet. You should take a bath and make a splash. You should hug someone. You should laugh. You should take a nap. You should eat old meat or some honey. You should jump up and down. You should sit in the sun. You should dance. But Jim didn't feel like doing any of that. Why are you grumpy, Jim? Asked the others. It's such a wonderful day. I'm not grumpy, shouted Jim as he beat his chest, and he stormed off. Jim felt sorry, a little sorry for shouting at everyone, but mostly sorry for himself. I guess I am grumpy, Jim sighed. And just as he was starting to feel really sad, he came upon Norman. Norman was slumped. His eyebrows were bunched up and he was frowning. What's the matter? Are you grumpy? Asked Jim. No, I danced with Porcupine, said Norman. Are you okay? Asked Jim. It hurts, but I'll probably feel better soon enough, said Norman. Are you still grumpy? Yes, said Jim, but I'll probably feel better soon enough too. For now, I just need to be grumpy. It's a wonderful day to be grumpy, said Norman. And Jim agreed. And he already felt a little bit better. Can you guess who I am? Here are my 3 facts. I have been a teacher in 2 states. I've known another Dugan teacher since I'm 2 years old. And singing and acting are 2 of my favorite hobbies.